I'm recording now. He's Googling right now.
Why is he ducking my question? He's literally on Google trying to pull it up.
George, relax.
I'm gonna look it up.
I know exactly what it looks like because I have my girlfriend's Lebanese and one of my best friends is Lebanese.
I got it pulled up right now. Pete, what does it look like? The Lebanese flag?
What's the name of the tree on the Lebanese flag? I'll give you one guess.
Aaron, what's your email?
My email?
Yeah.
You want to just give it out on YouTube?
Right. We have fans. We have fans of the show.
We haven't started yet. Just
it's my last name dot my first name at gmail.com.
Just cut it from the guy who just...
You can email from me every week.
Yeah.
Could he have just replied directly to the email he just got from you? Possibly.
All right. I got the scenarios now.
Possibly. I'm not going to look at these scenarios.
Well, I don't know what your email is, George.
Yeah.
Fantasy
I just found
playoff scenarios.
If only I was on the email that Kieran just sent to the public.
This is not worth it at all.
Is it not? I think it's worth it.
This is so complex.
Guys, if you're following along at home, Pete has been wasting the past 30 minutes of our life. First of all, Pete literally does not know that reply all will reply to all the emails on a single email chain.
All right,
and instead asks both of us for our emails individually.
All right, it might not be useful, but we have it.
Let me see.
All right, I'm ready.
No one cares, dude. This guy. I don't give a fuck if you're ready. No one cares. No one has been waiting for you to give the green light that you're ready for us to get started.
All right.
Got the green light.
Lex, Pinz, and Pete show, week 14. We are back with Pete. His suspension has been lifted. He has made the promise of dropping a blog this week. So we let him back before that. We're hoping that he can follow through on such a promise. We know that he's had a shaky history with that before. I think we'll get to George's comments in a second, but we'll start with Pete. Do you want to reintroduce yourself and maybe give a little bit of a statement to start the episode?
Yeah, first of all, I mean, it's the Pete's back episode, so it's going to be a good one. I'm excited. It's good to be back, but in my time off, I definitely learned something. I think the suspension was necessary. I didn't deserve to be on the show. And at the end of the day, I was letting my team down. I missed 4 episodes, total of 4 episodes. And I think the suspension was rightfully so. I didn't really fight it. I took it, understood it, wrote 3 blogs, just like my commissioner told me to, and earned my way back on. So here we are. Pete's back.
Nicely said. George, you have anything to say to that? It sounded like you had a little bit of a list to address with Pete. So I'll hand the mic over to you.
This is my composition notebook of things that I had to say about Pete's suspension. And I was actually going to run through it, actually going to read off some of my notes. And then instantly, once he came on and started talking, I remember how useless trying to have a conversation with Pete is. So I'm actually going to scrap it.
George, you literally said 5 minutes ago the last episode wasn't one of our best, and you're happy that I'm back on the show.
Did I say that I'm happy?
Yeah. What page in the composition?
Did I say that?
Note
did I say that I'm happy to have you back on the show?
That was not on the record. So I cannot confirm. I can neither confirm nor deny the validity of Pete's statement.
Let's get into the playoffs.
All right. So
the last thing I will say though is I really didn't like. I missed 2 episodes, right? The Bowen episode and then the last Power Rankings with you guys. Bowen's the title page still had the Lex, Pinz, and Pete show on it, and that felt like I still had a place in the show. But
that's the name
of the title
of the
page last week just being the Lex and Pete or Pinz show. It kind of hurt. kind of hurt. But
we'll have to talk to the editing team
Kinda
about
hurt.
that. But we'll get into the playoffs now. So I have the current playoff picture written down. I think we're pretty much locked into 6 teams. The Vibers are on the outside looking in. I guess there is a small chance they're 62.58 points out of the playoffs. So it's not looking likely that they could sneak in on the points for. But there is still a chance. They need Mikey to kind of put up a stinker, and they'd have to put up a huge week themselves. So I think we can kind of continue the conversation looking at it as a 6-team race. Right now, the top 3 seeds, the division leaders, are the Zits, 2 Pinz, and Big Brain. Those are the 1, 2, and 3 seed in order. That's by points for. The 4, 5, and 6 wild card seeds are Chris Carson Wentz, the Slow Stroke Kings, and Go Tigers. As it stands right now in the 4, 5, 6, there is a 29.72 point difference between Go Tigers and the Kings. And between the Kings and Chris Carson Wentz, there's a 55.02 point difference. Right now, 2 Pins is in the middle of Zits and Big Brain. They have 21.24 more points than Big Brain, and they are 9.6 points behind the Zits. So that's how it stands right now, but there are a few different scenarios. There's some big matchups this week that could change that picture. George, what do you think of the current playoff picture as is?
I really struggle between giving myself the respect that nobody else will give me and, continuing to just be humble and brick by brick build this thing up and then really have the explosion at the end. This is why you're on mute. Pete, because no one actually wants to hear what you have to say. So stay on mute while I go, and then when it's your turn, I'll turn it over to you. So I built this thing, me and Joe built this thing brick by brick. For most of the year, we didn't have a running back. But in terms of the overall standings, I think it's really just a 2-man kind of race here. Well, 3. I won't disrespect your team, Kieran. I actually think,
I appreciate that.
like I said a couple shows ago, that you have that one fantasy team that people will look at the roster and they'd be like, this team is in 3rd, or this team is in the playoff hunt, and then it's like, yeah, they are. You kind of start thinking back, you're like, oh yeah, Cordell has been killing, or this and that. You're gonna need Mac to throw more than 3 passes in the playoffs if you want to, have a chance to win here. But Tua's really come on strong. So I do think it's a 2-team race between Bowen's team and my team. But I do think that you're right out, outside looking in to play spoiler, and then I think everybody else is not. I don't worry about McMurrow's team. I don't worry about the Big Brains. We destroyed Big Brains. We already did it once. We'll do it again. So that's kind of how I'm looking at the playoff picture, is kind of 2 teams, and then yours is kind of in there playing spoiler.
Pete, what do you think? You're kind of on the other side of the spectrum. You're at the bottom of the standings, not sniffing the playoffs, so you don't really have a dog in the race. I guess you're semi-invested in Big Brain. You gave him that buddy deal at the trade deadline to really help give him a push. Joe Mixon's hurt now, but them acquiring him is definitely going to be helpful with McCaffrey out. So yeah, just from your kind of loser's perspective, unbiased, what do you think of the playoff race? Who are the serious contenders? Who's kind of just filler, warm bodies in the playoffs? And I don't know, maybe you have a pick to win.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, credit to Team 2 Pins. Like, they're turning it on. You guys are killing it. There's no doubt about it. But there's absolutely no way, George, that you can say that you're going to be humble about it. With what you put in this league chat this week, like, you literally just sound like Big Brain last year. It was right about this time. It was a 2-man race, just like you're saying, but it was Big Brain and McMurrow. No one had Bowen even close to the playoffs, or even he snuck in the last week.
I think he was a 6 seed, yeah.
6 seed. Snuck in the last week, a 6 seed over me, actually, and then upset Big Brain in the semis. So it just sounds very similar to last year. We're talking about a 2-man race between McMurrow and Bowen. And to you to claim that you guys are humble, absolutely not. I mean, you're setting yourself up for a loss in the semis here. And I think you've actually become the enemy, the public enemy of the league now.
I'm kind of behind that.
I'm beloved in the league.
Yeah, no, I could kind of get behind that. I feel
Yeah,
like
you see where I'm coming from. It's not far fetched.
yeah, I feel like we've definitely, McMorrow's just kind of removed himself from the race.
Also, I have McMurrow's
Big
first.
Brain, they always had the target on their back. That was more, I think, because of their ownership structure and the dominance that they had in the first year. But I feel like at this point, it's just kind of sad. So we're kind of laying off of Big Brain. So I feel like Two Pins kind of is the next man up.
Mm.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like a true enemy, but I'd say if there was a race, they'd be in the lead. I don't know, George, do you agree, disagree with that?
Guys, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I know we gotta have content for the show or whatever the case may be. As somebody's coming in here to bring Pete, I don't know what they're bringing. Pete is clown.
Text me.
Clown
I'm
attitude
cold.
talking
Can
about.
you bring a jacket in?
No,
Hey, text his roommate. I'm a little chilly in my room. And bring my shirt
Oh,
over.
there we go.
But I'm beloved in the
polo.
league, to be honest. Everybody knows that. I don't think anybody. I don't think I can't think anybody that dislikes me, honestly, in the league. I am pretty much beloved, and it's not being humble. I exposed Big Brains for being frauds, and I told them exactly what they were, which is the Yankees of the league, and that's exactly what they proved to be. They're frauds, and we exposed them. Simcoe didn't like the fact that I pointed out correctly that he victory lapped his win against me,
true.
and then literally
true.
no one has heard from him until that time that he texted the group chat when I brought his name up. And then there's you, who you kind of just sly around. You say things, you kind of hedge your bets a little bit so that if you're right, then you could come in and fucking blow up the league chat with all your nonsense. But
Yeah, he
if
plays
you're
both
wrong,
sides. That way he always comes out on
yeah,
top.
you play on the fence. So
come on.
nobody over here, nobody in this league doesn't like me, and I have a really good relationship with Mike Bone, who's probably the most respected guy in the league. So
George,
I don't know where that's
you're a
coming
great
from.
guy. I don't think you're the problem we're talking about here. I mean, on cue, your partner at Two Pins. Did we win this week? Did we win again? What is that? What are those fire flames mean behind our name? Like, you're not the problem. You are very well liked. But Joe on cue will come in cocky in the chat every week, and I think you just took the public enemy crown from Big Brain.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of separating the art from the artist too, where we might not hate George, but we do hate his team. You can kind of separate the two and appreciate one while disliking the other. And there's no doubt that I think we view your team as a threat. And I think we're all kind of catching on to your fake humble act where, you come in and you say, "Oh, wow, did we win this week?" Knowing very well that you did. So I think we're starting to see right through that. I don't think you're fooling many people with it anymore. So I think that I think you're asking for the target on your back. And I think we're granting you your wish. So congratulations on that.
But the success is absolutely there. The success is there. The one question I have for you: do you think you're peaking too early?
No. We were, and then we went and acquired Antonio Gibson, and we have great hopes for what he's gonna bring us in terms of what my partner brings to the league in terms of did we win this week and those type of comments. Are they the most in class comments? Maybe they're not. But I know that certain people, specifically even on this show, have had very mean things to say about my co-owner. So I think him coming in and defending himself and kind of having his own way of going about things is fair. When a lot of people were saying a lot of things when he wasn't even there to defend himself. So I think it's fair to say, but ultimately, yeah, maybe those comments aren't in the best taste. But ultimately, when people are coming at you for, in the off season, they're saying this, they're saying that, they're saying they're the real Lebanese man in the chat. Obviously you're going to come in, you're going to defend yourself. So that's the way I look at it.
Well, so do you feel like maybe you have, despite being the 2 seed now, do you think you have the 1st seed somewhat locked up? You're only 9.6 points behind the Zits. Right now you're projected 140.89 points for this week. The Zits are projected 120.02. Not only that, but if the Zits lose they're going against Go Tigers right now. They actually drop out of the top 3 seed because that would lose them the division. So then that would bump you up to the 1 seed, Big Brain up to the 2. Go Tigers would become the 3, and then the 4, 5, and 6 would go Zitz, Chris Carson Wentz, Kings, and that would be another pathway that you have to the 1 seed. So I feel like you kind of have both easy paths, just with the way that things are lining up right now. Are you starting to pop the champagne, put the t-shirts on?
Who would you say would be 6?
I would drop to the 6 seed.
Yeah, so I will say we don't want to see that. We don't want to see
you would have a bye though. Can we pull up, is there a playoff bracket that we can get? It's top 2 seeds have a bye, right?
top 2 have a bye.
Yeah.
Top 2 have a bye.
So I have a bye right. So I have a bye right now. So
So right now, as the standings are, it would be Big Brain versus Go Tigers, and then McMorrow versus me. But if that scenario were to happen where the Zits drop out and you go up to the 1, then it would be me versus Mikey and Zits versus McMorrow. And then what? You would face the winner of the 4 versus 5. Right? So then you'd kind of face the Zits, I think. But
why wouldn't I face the winner of the,
or is it just because I don't think we reseed.
Oh, yeah, the 4 versus 5 unless the 6 one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're asking
I'm not sure
me,
if I'll have to check. I'm not sure if we reseeded last year or not.
you're asking me if well, I mean, it's a hats and t-shirts game. I mean, that's kind of the way that we talk about it internally. It's a hat and t-shirts game. You gotta I was talking to Devin McCourty one time and he was telling me about how you just gotta appreciate the entire process. And so, this is that type of game. I mean, we have an opportunity to go ahead and win the division. And so that's, kind of our main focus right now. And yeah, it's a hats and t-shirt game. Are we going to pop champagne and go too crazy? No, I mean, we have, other things that we want to accomplish, but we're certainly going to, relish in, the opportunity that we have this week to kind of cement ourselves as a solid team in the league.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't even think a win is necessary for you because it would take McMahon would have to outscore you by 50 points this week and win while you lose just to get the 1 seed from you. So the win's kind of irrelevant. All you have to do is kind of keep up in points and at the very least hope that you can outscore the Zits by 10. You do have Big Brain on your tail. I wouldn't really call it on your tail with 21.24, but that's a doable number. Just 140 to a 110 week or something, then they could pass you. But yeah, I mean, I think at the very least, if you just keep pace, then you pretty much have the 1 seed locked up, unless Bowen gets a surprise out of the Zits. But I don't know. I mean, that's the matchup to watch. Really is the Zits versus Go Tigers, because that's for everything. I mean, Mikey could go from the 6th seed all the way into that top seed or into a top seed. It'd still kind of have a tough pathway, but the Zits dropping out and becoming a wild card team kind of really shakes things up. I don't know, Pete. What do you think about how things might unfold this week? I know that you did all that work with your playoff scenario, so maybe you have some.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, I put in the effort to input the league's data into a playoff scenario calculator that basically breaks down all the different scenarios of the playoffs, right? And this is what I'm pulling from it at the moment. My first takeaway: Go Tigers. So Mikey, Slow Stroke Kings, Kiernan, McMurrow, you 3 are locked for the playoffs if you win this game, and you have a 50% chance to make the playoffs if you lose the game. So that's going to make you feel pretty good, right, Kiernan?
See, this is what we were talking about. I don't think that's true.
It is true. There's 64 scenarios this week. In all 32 scenarios, when you win the game,
winning or losing is pretty irrelevant to me making the playoffs.
Right, but I'm saying
if I win, I probably have like a 5% chance to win the division, because if I win and Big Brain loses
but I'm just
Simcoe, then I win
the playoffs.
But if I lose, I don't drop out. like if I lose, like that, me losing has nothing to do with whether or not I'm in the playoffs. It's all about the points.
Right,
And
but
I'm so far
I'm
up in
saying if you
points.
do lose, there's a 50% chance you make playoffs.
No, no, like it's just like irrelevant. Like it's like an irrelevant data point
Yeah, all right. Maybe the scenarios. All right.
because I could win, and Big Brain could win, but then the Vibers could outscore me by 93 points. I know that's unlikely, but then I'm out.
Yeah, all right. Maybe I'm getting a little too over my head with the scenarios. A little bit. But
Really?
Yeah, because this doesn't
Would-
factor in. This doesn't factor in the points for.
yeah, it does. I put the points for stipulation.
Would you say that there's a chance that we wasted, I don't know, let's call it 15 minutes watching
Inputting
you
data?
input this data just for it to be totally useless?
I mean, George.
Would you say someone on this show predicted that we would, and let's call it 15 minutes?
No, I believe they
Nice
don't they,
even
don't
number.
they call that off the record? Isn't that what we called that?
I'm literally putting it on the record. Why is this so difficult for you to keep up when I'm doing one of the things?
I don't know, George. I don't know. George, I will say in the calculator, Team 2 Pinz is a lock in all 64 scenarios that could happen this week.
Thank God we got that cleared
So
up.
you've clinched the playoffs. Congratulations.
You know, Kieran, coming into this show, I was like, what is the scenarios that I don't make the playoffs? So I'm glad that we got Pete on the case to figure that out. He actually just relieved a ton of stress from me.
No, it's good because I didn't realize that this was like kind of a must win for me versus Team 3. I thought that I've kind of, in essence, had my playoff spot locked up for a couple weeks now. I'm now finding out that if I lose, there's a coin flip chance that I don't make the playoffs.
Yes.
So I'm starting to panic a little bit. I will definitely weigh that into how I set Team 3's lineup for this week. I gotta guarantee that win. But
you want to see Big Brain win this week, Kieran?
I don't know if that's true. Do I?
Yeah, you do.
Well, let me think. All right. So if I were to win and Big Brain lost, that would move me up to the 3 seed. Right. And then that would bump them down. So then that would put me at the 3. Then I'd face Mikey week 1, first week of the playoffs. I don't think that's like the biggest, I don't know. I feel like Mikey, I mean, I guess McMorrow's who I would want to face the most.
Yeah, you want to face McMorrow. Exactly.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yes. I would prefer that things kind of stay the way that they are.
Right.
Because
exactly.
McMorrow is definitely, yeah. But it's not like if I face Mikey, I'm not like, holy shit, I'm screwed. Like, I don't know. Mikey, Big Brain, Zits, 2 Pinz. Like, I don't know. I feel like all teams are.
It's the calculator. It doesn't lie.
Yeah. No, it's all about getting McMorrow in the first round. Anybody else, like I fear them the same. McMorrow,
Yeah.
who doesn't want him right now? I set the stat. I think he's scoring 40 points less per game in the second half of the season. So, yeah.
Also,
of course,
according to the calculator, the occasional Vibers are mathematically eliminated.
Pretty much. I'd say there's like a 1% chance that they get in.
No, 0. Calculator doesn't lie.
I don't know. It did lie to you earlier about my situation. So that's under review. Maybe there's like some margin for error. But yeah, I mean, they'd have to score. They'd have to outscore Mikey by 63 points this week. It's not.
Yeah.
Does your calculator have anything interesting? So is your calculator just saying that all the teams that are in the playoffs are in the playoffs?
George, just because you can't understand it doesn't mean it's not interesting.
Good point.
Kieran, I would help your friend here because we're recording live. I've been very nice to him so far. I actually have. Despite the fact that I've killed him multiple times, I've actually held back. And so I think it would be in his best interest to not try to get into a cage fight this guy. Are you on Twitter?
No, I'm off all social media.
I have argued with much more intimidating people on the Twitter sphere. All right. I'm made for this. I'm bred for this.
Do you feel like I'm trying to intimidate you? Is that what you're saying? That you fought with more intimidating people? Like I'm not intimidating. I'm not trying to intimidate you, George.
That was a good one. All right.
You're my co-host. You're my co-host.
Round one goes to Pete. We'll regroup.
All right, where were we? Yeah, I mean, I feel like as far as the calculator goes, I think that's pretty much right. 6 teams we are locked in. Wins and losses aren't the most important thing this week. I mean, we're looking at the different matchups. I don't think McMorrow has any chance of winning the division really, because he's not going to catch you guys in points. You don't have to beat the Vibers. Obviously, Mikey and go Tigers and the Zits. That's huge. Slippery Pete and the Suns. That's just an irrelevant matchup.
I think I got a good shot this week. Davis Mills. I got a QB for the rest of the season.
It would be something if oh wait, what? No, I was thinking you were playing Simcoe for a second.
Yeah.
If Simcoe went out sad like that and lost to you, that would be unbelievable.
Who are the first 3 out right now?
The first 3 out? I mean,
yeah.
I think that's pretty obvious. It's definitely team 3.
Vibers. Sorry.
The last 3 out?
Yeah, outside looking in.
So it'd be the Vibers, Snake Bitten, and the Suns in that order.
Vibers are mathematically eliminated.
Yeah.
Most athletic Suns mathematically eliminated. Snake Bitten might make it 30. So they're alive. They might make it in 32 different scenarios this week. And the calculator doesn't lie. So I think it's a 7-team race, George, actually.
No, because the way that it goes, if Snake Bitten beats Big Brain, so then they're tied record-wise with Big Brain. And then if I were to lose, they'd be tied record-wise with me. But they are 137 points behind and points behind me. And another 84 behind Big Brain. So that's a lot of points.
Sounds like almost mathematically eliminated.
Yeah, I'd say that they're teetering on the side of being mathematically eliminated. Looking at that number, it's a lot to make up in 1 week. So I'd say that they're out. That's just my opinion. I won't challenge the calculator. It does not lie. But I mean, I feel like those are kind of the scenarios, the ones that we've gone over, right? I mean, Zits and Tigers, that's going to decide so much. That's really going to, and the way that it's looking, it really looks like that's actually not true. Mikey's projection's gone way down because Najee Harris isn't doing anything. So, I mean, if the Zits get back in this and they can win and things hold, that would be ideal for somebody like me. If Mikey could shoot up to the 3 seed, that would also be pretty crazy. And then, I guess the Sprite Forever division is the one to watch. Just both of those matchups. I'd say it's a likely win for me over team 3. No guarantees or anything. And then if Snake Bitten were to, I think that them losing to Fitz last week, team 3, my apologies, actually heighten their chances of beating Big Brain this week. I just feel like that's how the universe works. So if they were to pull off that upset, that could create something interesting. So we'll see about that. I don't know. Do you want to maybe do some predictions?
Yeah, I like that.
So George, I think we know who you have. Do you want to give maybe like a dark horse?
Who I have in what?
Like who your pick is to win the league? I don't know if you want to give a pick that excludes yourself. Like, hey, maybe here's like a team to watch that could make noise.
I've already said, I think your team. I think your team.
Appreciate it. Pete, who do you have winning?
I think we're sleeping on Big Brain. Big Brain.
Out of here, dude. Shut the fuck up.
I know
You're gonna make
out.
me so fucking mad. Stop bringing up Big Brain's name in the fucking. They're not contenders. They're fucking pretenders. Okay, stop bringing them up. I don't want to hear anymore. Big Brain.
I will say I could see kind of like a Virginia redemption story arc here where they had that upset, they lost to the 16 seed, and then they come back and they win it all.
So that we play Big Brain in the first round, so we can make quick work of them. I honestly would rather make quick work of Big Brain in the first round. Is there a scenario where I drop in seeding so that I can make quick work of Big Brain?
It would require Big Brain putting up a lot of points. So
that's not going to happen.
Let me check the calculator.
That's not gonna happen.
It says Team Two Pins 100% chance of arrogance on Sunday,
Wow.
and the
No,
calculator's
all right,
never
anyways.
wrong.
Zing.
The
Anyways,
calculator's never wrong.
Go
Is the-
ahead on.
That was
Go ahead
terrible.
on your.
Wait, let me
Hold
check.
on, you're-
Let me check it again. Let me check it again. Nope, still wrong. I'm still not wrong. 100% arrogance, George. 100%.
Go ahead on your wrong take about big brains. Go ahead.
I didn't even get the words out of my mouth, but I think we're sleeping on Big Brain. I'm not ready to put them away yet. I know they faded, but they've never had McCaffrey. They've never had McCaffrey. So I mean, losing him, whatever, they don't really had him. And they got Mixon replaced anyway. So I'm not ready to put them out.
Gifted them.
I'm not ready to put them out. I think McMorrow's done. I have that first round this year, by the way. Probably should be pick 7. Excited about that. I'm not ready to put Big Brain away. But I think it's that. I think it's that, and then Zitz. Yeah, you and Zitz, George. You're the favorites right now, but I'm not ready to put Big Brain away.
I have no respect for anybody that puts big brain in the contender.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I could see like the story arc. I'm not really seeing it with the team themselves. I could just see the universe working in a way, but I don't think they've done enough good this year. I don't think they've built up the good karma to kind of get the universe to work that way for them. So I'm not going to side with that pick. McMorrow out vacationing during the regular season. We know where his head's at.
The king of Atlantis.
Yeah,
the king of Atlantis.
He's getting ready for dodgeball tournaments and 32-man fantasy leagues he's trying to build. So he's focused on other projects right now. He got his ring. He's kind of relaxing this year. He prefers the COVID seasons, I guess.
Yeah, he is Lamar relaxing.
Mikey's a team that we've said all year they're capable of getting hot. I don't know if he has the ability to kind of sustain the success for 3 weeks. And he's going to need that. He doesn't really have a chance at that top 2 seed. He could get that 3. But either way, he's going to be playing week 1 of the playoffs. Gotta like myself. My team's just steady. I do kind of rely too much on other teams to beat themselves. I do have a really low points against. Respectfully so, I have like the 5th most points for. So what can you really say about it? I play who's in front of me. I'm still putting up the points. You can't really argue with the results. So you gotta like myself. I think I can stay steady. It just kind of depends on who I'm playing and what week I'm playing them in. But you know what? Since nobody's really saying it, George's loving himself. He's loving other teams. I got to take my boy. I got to go with Bowen. I got to say that the Zitz, that's my favorite. That's who's going to win. If it's not myself, it would be an honor to play him in the championship. I will put the Zitz in as my official non-slow stroke Kings pick. I just got to put a little respect on my boy's name. So that's why I'll do that. Pete, it sounds like you have some point that you want to make about my points against.
No, I mean, I think it just makes me smile that you brought up points against. I've been bringing it up a couple like shows that I was on earlier. And it's low, 1304, lowest in the league. It's not even close. So I think it's a good point. I'm going to lock in Big Brain as my non 2 pins pick for the championship. I would love to see a Big Brain 2 pins championship.
It's not going to happen. They're not going to make it that far. I'd love to embarrass them.
They scored 150
actually, the thing that's funny is, what did they score when they played us? Less than that.
2 weeks ago, 150 points.
The thing
3
that's
weeks
funny,
ago, 198 points.
I'll wait for you to finish. That's fine.
130. They scored 130 when you scored 155. 3 out of the last 4 weeks, they've been over 130 points. Contenders. Absolute contenders.
I guess. I don't know. They had other weeks where they didn't score that. I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess they got the boost when you gave him Mixon. But I don't know. I mean, I just look at that team and I see them as another team. I don't see them as the big brain of old. The world beaters that they were in last year's regular season. I see them just like I see, McMorrow, Mikey, the Vibers. They're just another team to me. I've beaten them. So, I guess, it seems a little bit easier from my side. Same with George. But yeah, I mean, they're a good team, depending on their schedule, depending on how things play out. Of course, if you're in the playoffs, you got a chance, but I think it's hard to pick them as a favorite to win it all, especially with what we've seen from them in the postseason before.
Pretenders. That's what they
Foo
are.
Fighters.
Pretenders.
It's hard to
that right
disagree.
there?
They're starting KJ Osborne this week, and you're calling them, and Russell Gage, and you're calling them contenders, Pete.
I don't know. Kieran, as a wise man once said, time will tell.
Time usually tells.
Time usually tells.
Can you see this, Kieran? Can you see this, Alex?
No,
Good with this?
your nose is in the way.
Hmm?
Oh,
You
that
getting
sounds...
It was in the way.
He can say, listen, he can make all the jokes he wants. And actually, I want to say, because I have a lot of respect for the people on Big Brains. I actually do. I like Big Brains' team. I don't know the third person.
Jordan.
Jordan. But I have a lot of respect for Beans. I have a lot of respect for the
Me.
late. Huh?
Continue. I was just adding to your list.
Yeah, don't. So I have a lot of respect for the people on that run the Big Brains operation. It's not their fault that they've kind of been propped up by the media. It's not their fault that they kind of feed the media stories to kind of prop them up. But ultimately, as the team of the people, as people are saying, I got to come in and I got to do my job and pop balloons that might be a little bit overinflated. So that's all that is. I don't want them to watch this and think, he's got a vendetta against us. He doesn't like us. I really do like the owners there, but it's people like Pete. They say things that aren't true about their team, and then they don't say anything respectful about other teams that have been grinding and doing it the right way, not getting gifted Joe Mixon, having to really.
What does doing it the right way mean?
Building it organically. You kind of assisted them in playing the Golden State Warriors route. Going out, giving Kevin Durant, by just handing him over, not really playing the market, not getting top value. And if they didn't get that trade, they'd be in a much tougher position. But because you just sold them, on a Black Friday deal, kind of helped ease the pain of such a big loss like Christian McCaffrey. So I think that's maybe what George is referring to. I won't speak for him though. I can let him clarify.
No, that's exactly right. They gave him the Pete Cyber Monday deal on Joe Mixon after promising multiple people, not just one, but multiple people, that they'd get a chance to match any offers or hear any offers.
Mm-hmm.
And then they cut other people out of the deal that were supposed to be involved in a deal. So, clearly some people are doing it. And I don't blame Big Brain for any of that. They got to take what's given to them. But I think there's a lot behind, people want to see the good guys get one. And so I think that's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah. And, I'm praying for a 2 Pinz and Slow Stroke Kings final. It'd be great for the show. We could have Pete as like a special guest referee, maybe almost like the WWE.
It would be a great show.
So I think that would be pretty good. I think we've covered everything that can really go on with the playoffs. Maybe there's some super complex scenario that really shakes up the seeding, but we're definitely locked in for 1 through 6 as far as the teams that are involved. We've seen that there are a few different ways that some teams can shoot up and down the rankings. But I think that we've kind of covered everything we need to. I don't know if you guys have anything to add.
One thing that I did still have, Kieran, are those new glasses?
I did get some new specs this past week. I went with a smaller frame. It's a similar shape to what I had, but I wanted something a little more lightweight. I needed to get new lenses for sure, so went with new frames as well.
Yeah, they look good. Igor could never pull those off, but they look good on you.
No, it's true. I did get tear-resistant glass for my frames or for my lenses. So if Emotional Igor ever wanted to try them on, they would be tear-resistant. I don't know, George, do you have anything to add with playoff commentary?
No, I would just say that three pins, one of my very good friends, Alex, let's just be honest here. If you were gifted the like encyclopedia of fantasy football knowledge, you couldn't hold a candle to him. So I would just be very careful. I'd just be very careful about who you take shots at and who you don't take shots at. Stay humble, stay in your lane, continue your poo-poo rebuild. And then when you get an opportunity in 2027, when you have a little bit more cachet, then maybe you could take shots at people. But for right now, leave it to the big dogs, and just stay in your lane where appropriate.
Is it an encyclopedia that he fills up, or is it a how-to, like how to drop your team out of the playoffs when you were in a pretty good position? That sounds more like the book that he would write.
No, see, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense that you had to come back with the rebuttal here because like I said, Pete's got to stay in his lane because he knows that he doesn't have enough cachet in anything that he's done in fantasy.
What do you keep saying? Cachet?
Cachet. Do you not know what
That's a
cachet
word.
means? Do you need to
define it for us.
What are you confused about with cachet?
Define it, the definition.
Cachet means the amount of rep that you have with something.
The amount of rep. Okay.
He's saying you got no clout.
You have no clout.
All right,
No
that's a
clout
better way to
working.
describe it.
What are you confused about? Your team stinks. You traded for a
I
serial.
don't know, George. I don't know. It just sounds
abuser.
it sounds exactly like the arrogance from Big Brain last year.
I
was going to see. I really
fact
wanted
you
to
traded. Fact or
I
fiction?
really
You
want to
traded
see
for
how
a
you
serial
approach
sexual
this
abuser.
episode, but it's just all arrogance. You're setting yourself up for failure.
Fact or fiction? You traded for a serial sexual abuser.
I traded for the first round pick in the 2023.
No. He's talking about months ago. You
What
traded
trade?
for a particular quarterback that is a known degenerate.
Yeah, I traded for Deshaun Watson.
So you traded for so this is the same team that traded for a serial sexual abuser. Meanwhile, my team, as soon as
alleged.
I believe the women, but yeah, do
you
whatever makes you happy. But
are you familiar with Mr. Broadwater?
I don't like where this is headed.
Mr. Broadwater.
Wrongful
conviction. Mr. Broadwater's wrongful conviction was overturned today after serving 16 years in prison.
I did see that. I still believe the women, but do whatever suits your.
You know the Lovely Bones, George? The author of the Lovely Bones was wrongfully. She was raped. That's horrible. But she wrongfully accused this man.
Where are we taking this show?
For 16
All right, let's bring the show back in. Let's move
Mr. Broadwater.
He's trying to slander a woman's name on the live YouTube show while defending a serial alleged abuser. In his case, I believe the women. I want that.
I'm just saying, do not make assumptions about Deshaun Watson.
All right. I'm just saying. I'm just saying it's been 5 minutes and you haven't said I believe the women. That's all I'm saying. That's a fact.
I don't believe the women. I don't believe the Deshaun Watson. Right. It's not for me to make a decision, George. Right. I'll let the judicial system handle it.
On the record, I don't believe the women.
He did say that. We could clip that. We'll tease it on Twitter this week.
We'll let the judicial system work its magic. Mr. Broadwater.
Anyways, I'd like to kill all rumors that I'm 5'4". I'm very much not 5'4". I will say the irony is never lost on me that the people that usually go right to insulting my height are typically the same height as me. Irony is not lost there. Maybe there's a bit of projecting with the rant that went on against me in the group chat. I'll let the fans decide. I won't speak for anybody else. I felt like there might have been some pain behind those words. So hopefully we can get a BetterHelp sponsorship, get some therapy sessions for league members. That's something that we'll be working on in the off season. But I think that we've kind of covered everything with the playoffs. We got Pete back. It feels good to have him here. So I think we'll call it at that. I think we are running maybe a little long, or maybe it's just because we've been on for over an hour. And most of the time, Pete was just trying to put the data into that calculator that didn't really work.
Right. It's the data, the calculator, and 100% arrogance from the two Pinz this weekend. That's a wrap.
Yep. So we'll leave it at that. That's week 14, the Lex Pinz and Pete show. Next week, we'll be back with an official playoff bracket. We'll go over that. This is Lex Lumpkin for Two Pins and Slippery Pete. We'll be back next week. All right.